Oh, Delfino Plaza looking a little bit brighter every day, Carl.
It does, doesn't it, compared to where we live in now? 2020.
Oh, well, I was just like, it literally gets brighter.
Oh, does it as you go along?
As you get more shines.
Because it says you're going. Because the big shine gets shinier. Oh, yeah. I thought you were making like a statement about the world we live in. I didn't realise you meant like it literally gets a little bit brighter.
It literally gets a little bit brighter every day. Unlike this world.
Unlike this world, which gets darker and closer to oblivion with each passing second. It's all good.
Oh!
Oh, Toad, man. He's had a rough day, little Toad, isn't he? My favourite thing is, though, about these videos, we're so far ahead that there's nothing we can talk about that's not going to be out of date.
Not incredibly out of date. Like, this might be going out in 2021, Carl.
Oh, God. You know what, guys, in 2021, fucking, you're alright. If you survive 2020, you're a fucking badass. Like, everything is working against you to kill you. Including, in some cases, your fucking government.
Yeah.
Lucas, make profit. Make profit for your corporate overlords. It's so bad.
It is. It really is. And, like, I can only hope that 2021 is, I was about to say a worse place, a better place. But it may very well be a lot worse.
Because that's the optimism we need for this game. Like, the thing is, though, it feels bad talking about when we're on Mario. It's like, woohoo! And it's just like, 2021.
I like that, though. It feels bad saying this one's Mario, and then we go into the goopy inferno. Oh, no, I remember this one, Carl.
Is this a bad one?
Do you remember just like the the unending pain of Mario?
Oh, yeah. Just Mario's life ends. And now he hasn't got flood.
He hasn't. This was one where like Mario's arse cheeks were just on fire.
We've been there. Actually, no, I don't, because I don't eat like very spicy curries. So I never got that. Do the whole thing.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Luke, you made it. You can make that jump.
Oh, not if I go the wrong way. Oh.
Mario can make this jump.
Can he?
No.
Like, just dive into oblivion, Mario.
I respect that he thinks I'm going to die. I'm going to die, though, in a cool pose.
I'm going to embrace this. Like, you know what, Carl? Let's not start today's play session with that.
Okay, maybe not. Like, Mario wants to die screaming through the gates of Valhalla. Because, like, I'm really on board with the idea that the exact point you die is how you get into, like, heaven or hell. Or, like, whatever afterlife you happen to believe in.
Oh, okay.
Which is why, like, when I get really old, I'm going to just take up some fucking dangerous-ass hobbies. Do you know people say, oh, I've never done this thing? It's like, fuck it, if I die, I'm like 80, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So like, if I'm going to die and there's an afterlife, I want to enter that afterlife fucking belly flopping from the heavens.
Oh, God. Because that makes a statement right there, doesn't it?
It does. I want my obituary to be like, Karl died doing what he loved. Just like skydiving naked. So I want in like 150 years time people to walk past my tombstone. It just says on it like, it was alright, Karl, 1991 to like 2046 or something like that.
God. Till 2020.
Have you ever seen those like great headstones that people are just like, oh fuck it, I don't give a shit? Where people just like dunk on people from beyond the grave. Like, was that famous one of the guy who had a park bench dedicated to him, where it just says this park bench is dedicated to like John Park or something like that, some old man name, and it just says who hated this park and everybody in it. So that's what I he earmarked his like a little bit of money for, just like to forever tell people who lived in this park, fuck you.
Oh, that's a power play.
I think it was a guy as well, he died, and it was, I forget exactly what football team it was, but he sent an official request to his local football club if they could be pallbearers for his funeral. And when they got the request back of why, he went, so they can let me down one last time. It's like, I respect that of like going to the grave and be like, no, fuck you. One last swing. But what a good one is that, though? Oh, I want my local football club to put me in the grave so they can let me down one last time.
That's an awesome one.
It's incredible.
Oh, there we go.
I'll get that was a lot easier to get that shine.
It was, yeah.
So how many do we actually need? 'Cause we got like 40.
I believe that like we can fight Bowser at 65.
Oh, okay. So we're not doing too bad. Like, what, 2/3?
Yeah.
Towards being able to fight Bowser? And how many in total in the game? You probably said this and I forgot. I apologise.
I believe it's like other Mario games where it's 120.
There we go. So you get back roughly half. That's not bad.
Which I think is a nice, fair amount.
I'm going to say, we're not like 100% completing this game.
No.
And I'm just thinking, like, what is the last game you completed 100%?
Spider-Man.
Like, Spider-Man. So it is Spider-Man. What before that?
Ooh.
Do you even remember? So that's the thing now. We've got so much content. It's like asking people what's the last show you watched in its entirety, or like film you watched from start to finish. And I'm like, I don't know, because Netflix just lets me skip between stuff so quickly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So before Spider-Man, what was the last game you watched or played in its entirety?
Last game I played in its entirety.
Yeah, like start to finish, every difficulty, every collectible, like every achievement.
I mean, I guess Pokemon. Does that count? Because like I completed the Pokedex and stuff.
I guess that does count. Yeah, completed the Pokedex. 'Cause I honestly can't think of the last game I completed start to finish. Probably Halo 3. Halo 3 was the last game. I think it's the only game pretty much that I can remember getting 100% completion rate on.
Oh, okay.
And the only one that I can distinctly recall getting like 1,000 gamer score on.
Yeah.
And that's like what, 15 years ago nearly?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was really flaccid.
I let go like just.
I was gonna say, can you half charge it? Yeah, you can. See,
kind of.
Why would you even do that? It's like. Oh,
there we go.
God, how strong is Mario's spine? Do you know when people do calculations as like game theory? Before they got really crap and started reaching for ideas, and they would like calculate the force that like characters exert, or, like Minecraft Steve.
Yeah.
They worked out how much does diamond armor weigh and stuff like that, and Steve like can carry like this many stacks of this many pieces of ore. It's Minecraft Steve's one of the strongest characters in all of gaming because he can lift up like millions of tons of some stupid shit like that. And I love all that. It's like with Mario, he can do like a perfect backflip from standing over and over again and survive the force of this water jet that sends him like a clean several hundred feet into the air and then land and only take 1 pip of damage.
It's like Mario.
I love like the math people do on them, and then like game theory really started like just diving downhill.
Well, it's one of those of like you start off with a good like 20-30 game theories that you like are well known and you can like do quite easily, and then the more like it's one of those of like you're gonna make weekly content quicker than games are going to come out for you to make game theory, so it makes sense. Not
to mention as well, there's only so many questions you can ask. So, do you know what I've done? I've just gone onto their channel right now.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm curious, like, what is like the last few videos they've done?
Yeah.
And so let's have a look.
Oh, no, I thought that jumped up. Oh, Yoshi.
Well, the last 3 videos, one's an unboxing video. One is something with Markiplier that I don't understand. Okay. One is about the lore of Among Us. And then we've got one about Princess Peach. I don't know, apparently it does. The forgotten history of Minecraft Village. So they've like really started to expand what they do.
Yeah.
So the original intention was like let's just answer questions from games like how much force does a bullet bill have? How much does diamond armor from Minecraft worth? And then it's just like, fuck it, 500 videos about Five Nights at Freddy's.
I think that for me was what turned me off game theory. Like
it's
the
when
Five
they
Nights
really
at Freddy's content.
And they really started reaching for ideas.
And
really started to like get outside the realm of what their content originally promised. And we've talked before about that really great Twitter profile, like Can You Pet the Dog? And then they very quickly ran out of ideas and examples. Because there's only so many examples of Can You Pet the Dog? And they started doing shit like, if you go into Mario Maker and make a stage that looks like this, you can pet the dog. It's like, it's time to just sunset this channel. Or this idea. It was a good idea. People liked it. People responded very well. It's done. Just bow out. There's no shame in just saying we're done. There's nothing more we can do. And the thing about that, just bring it back to gaming, is like, is there any series you think where they've like, no, they're just done? Like they should just like sunset the series and like, look, we've accomplished all we can, or we've done all we can with this series.
I don't know. Probably quite a lot.
Yeah, there's a few that you just think like Assassin's Creed's one for me.
Yeah, I'd say until the point where like they refreshed it a bit.
Yeah, the only way they saved it by saying fuck it, start putting like Medusas and shit in there.
Yeah, basically.
Like in the new game, it's like start putting just mythological creatures in and just turn it into like a pseudo god of war.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of saved it for me. Like the Valhalla one, the Viking one.
Yeah.
So if they start putting in shit like from God of War, I'm down.
Oh yeah, totally. But until that point, I'm kind of just like, nah.
There was that
I
period
want them
where
to really embrace it.
like where Black Flag came out. It's like, oh, the ship sailing's so much fun. And I just looked and went, this is like the 7th game where you have the exact same moveset.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. And I think by that point as well, they were still talking about the Apple of Eden and the modern day storylines. I don't.
I think
give a
Black
shit.
Flag was the one where they gave it up.
Because well, did they ever deliver on that promise of like a futuristic one?
No.
Because that was the thing that was like set up with the first 3 Assassin's Creed, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Eventually, you will play as even forget the name of the guy who was in it. Who was the main character? Desmond.
Desmond Miles, yeah.
Because they have the thing of like as he's learning from Altair and Ezio, you have like missions in the future where he does the climbing as if he's been taught and learning their skills. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering because I like completely dropped off that series after number 3, which I think a lot of people did.
I think basically what happened was they realised that and just gave up.
Oh, because I was like, oh, if they do a future one, where it's like you have all the skills.
The plan was eventually for you to play as Desmond Miles. I think in maybe 4.
Because that would have been an interesting concept of like historical assassin techniques and technology versus modern future shit. And it's sad that they never realised that, but yeah, they drove that series into the ground and like partially saved it. But I still have no interest in it. Mm-hmm. Even with looking at stuff like Origins and seeing how well it's received, I still look at it and go, but is it the exact same gameplay again? It's like, yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
And the gameplay's not that great.
People told me like Black Flag was like the one, and then I played like 5-10 hours of it. It's like, it's the same. It's got boats in it, but it's the same.
And the problem is as well, a lot of the DLC for those games promises way more interesting things than the games do. Where, do you ever see what the DLC was for Assassin's Creed 3?
Don't think so.
Like, show Assassin's Creed, like, they generally try and stick to what history says. And then with Assassin's Creed 3, like, I think every person you kill, it's like realistic to when they actually died according to historical records.
Oh,
and the area they died. The DLC for that was King Washington, and it's George Washington was a fucking traitor and turned into king.
Oh, great!
And you've got I think it's like you've got to assassinate George Washington to save America.
Oh my god!
And it's like some alternate history thing. Like that's amazing. I want to play that game. Why is that not the entire game?
Yeah.
It's like with Far Cry. Whenever they do DLC, the DLC is always way more interesting. Of like they put out Blood Dragon.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
80s thing. It's like 2.5 hours long. And it's like they get Michael Biehn back, and it's like, oh, you're fighting like laser cobras.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, look at this like, game we farted out. That's like really fun. It's like, why can't you make that the entire game? Did you ever see like the list of potential ideas they did, where they just asked people what game do you want to see next?
Oh yeah, because that was the one where they asked about feudal Japan and everyone lost their mind.
Yeah.
But it's like, why can't we do that?
And then the next one was just like, oh, you're in
France, was it?
No, it's where you go to Nepal. That was number 4, I think.
Do you mean Far Cry? I thought you meant Assassin's Creed then.
Oh no, Assassin's Creed, no, Far Cry.
Oh, because they did put out a survey about Assassin's Creed, asking like, oh, where do people want to see Assassin's Creed go? And one of them was feudal Japan, which obviously everyone had already been asking for.
Well, that's like their break glass in case of emergency thing, isn't it? It's like if
probably
Assassin's Creed is dying, do that. But like, here we go. So after the release of Far Cry 3. Maybe Far Cry, it's 2015, so I'm not sure what Far Cry game was it. But I think it was just after the release of like Blood Dragon. They released a poll asking people, what game do you want to see next? And I'm just going to go through the list of things. Like, so bear in mind, it'd be like Far Cry's game play, which is good. Just gets a little bit old after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's really fun. Like, Blood Dragon, fucking amazing. Because it's the setting that sells that game.
But the issue with Far Cry is kind of just like, yeah, after a while, they've just stuck with it being the same formula and worse thin.
Yeah, so it's like one of those games that's sold by its tone, and the tone of number 3 and the tone of 4 and 5 does not grab me at all.
Not really, no.
because it's too realistic. It's too set in realism. That's why Blood Dragon was such a breath of fresh air. But here we go. A Far Cry game in remote Alaska about surviving the extreme wilderness. A Far Cry game set in a futuristic sci-fi setting on another planet. A Far Cry game set during the Vietnam War in the 1960s, where you got to survive in the jungles. A Far Cry game about cocaine trafficking in the jungles of Peru. So that's basically what we got with 4, isn't it?
Not far off, yeah.
Yeah, a Far Cry game where you can fight against or join vampires. A Far Cry game in the spaghetti western style in the late 19th century. A Far Cry game that is set during a zombie outbreak, which would be incredible. That'd be fucking amazing. A Far Cry game set in a Mad Max style post-apocalyptic world. A Far Cry game in the present day on a Jurassic Park style island of dinosaurs.
Why haven't we had that?
Blood Dragon 2.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, none of these ideas ever went anywhere, and they're all better than Far Cry 5.
It's just, Far Cry 5
it's like,
just,
It's like every year they have, or game companies will do like April Fools.
And that are always better than the actual things they come out with.
The one that pisses me off the most is, we go for Titanfall, we're doing Transformers DLC.
Oh, God.
With like the voice of Optimus Prime as your Titan, and it's like, jokes.
It's like, fuck you. Fuck you.
It's like, just the one of fighting vampires.
Yeah.
Like, vampire powers in Far Cry. Jokes you can already do, like the weird teleporting shoot with your knife. Imagine that, but it was like vampire powers. Because Far Cry is one of those games where you can just drag and drop any setting onto it, and the gameplay's solid. It's just, like I said, the tone.
Yeah.
That's like why 4 didn't interest me at all, because the moment I go and talk to him, it's like, and you are immediately presented with side with good or bad. And it is like, the good is like woman with her tits out, and bad is guy with t-shirt, and it's like, for fuck's sake. Or when you're playing on the 3. When you're playing as like just a shitty teenager.
On the plus side, at least we have sunglasses.
I've just noticed that, you got sunglasses on.
I just talked to him and he's like, take some shades,
sick.
man.
Why is that not canon Mario?
But in case anyone was wondering what I was trying to do in the plaza, someone like put it down in the comments like, there's this glitch that I'd never heard of. Mm-hmm. That you use the rocket nozzle to like send you 1,000 fucking foot into the air, but I just read a brief description of what to do and I couldn't get it to work, so...
fair enough. Will you try?
I might try, like, actually get it off screen and see if I can show it off next time, but it's just one of those funny, silly little glitches where it's like, Mario rockets, like, above the stage.
And we do try and show off, like, all the little things that we know about in these games. Mm-hmm. I think in, like, my Devil May Cry play, I'm trying to, like, show people, like, here's, like, neat, dumb things you can do with the engine and the gameplay and the mechanics that you handed to you.
Because I didn't know about that glitch. I'd have been doing it earlier on if I'd known.
Which one?
Like, just the idea of sending Mario above the stage. Just
because that's hilarious.
Rocket him into the heavens.
We could use that as, like, a jumping off. Like, what's a... like, you see here we've got some that changes his costume. So you've got some sunglasses. I think that should be canon Mario right now. Mario with sunglasses. Because Mario never had the edgy redesign, did it? Like, Mario's one of those characters where he stayed
pure. I guess
pure.
the closest might be Super Mario Strikers.
But that's like
But that's all of them getting like... That's just
Legend
the
of Zelda.
aesthetic of the game.
Legend of Zelda started here, Lucas.
So, Karl,
Breath of the Wild.
Welcome to another one of the levels that is like notorious within this game.
The worst part is, though, like, this game looks super good, looks really fun. But the more missions than not have been, this is a really bad one.
Yeah.
There's like not been a mission
so
far
it's
you
more,
played on.
I think the ones that are the good ones are over very quickly. And
That's
the ones
fair.
known as the bad ones you have to spend a long time with.
Because the reason that they're bad is that they're difficult or like obtuse or just like the mechanics make it like that.
Like that.
And then you have to...
Where it's 7 out of 8 coins. I was like, where's the 8th one? Oh!
Yeah, and that's a shame. Because like, we've not had the bit yet of like, this is one of the good levels. No? Yeah, okay, great. Instant. The cloud was in your way, the camera.
I think that was game over.
So we've got to start again. Oof.
Oh no, one more.
No. So have you got any like Mario never had the edgy redesign, did it?
No, he didn't.
Every other platformer had the edgy redesign where like the company that made the games were like desperately clambering to reinvent the character. Like even Crash Bandicoot, who was like a silly dumb character as it is, Remember, like, the game where it's, like, about putting masks on monsters to take them over, and they give them, like, the tribal tattoo?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, oh, God, is there any sign that you're desperate? Or any sign, like, that you're more desperate than that? Like, the hasty redesign.
Have like, if you've got a character like Mario, who's really well designed, there should be no reason to redesign him. Because, like, Mario is basically, like, a timeless fucking character. Oh my God.
I'm just thinking, we never have got... Oh, I've just noticed that. This is a cool idea for a stage. Really,
oh my God! What? No.
Are you fucking kidding me? Ah! Lucas, fuck you. That's amazing. How dare they?
I was like, oh yeah, I kind of get why this is a bit bullshit. Like,
and it just starts turning upside down.
Oh, great, thanks, Mario.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna try that one again though.
That does look fun. All I can think when I see it though is just Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Do the big bird monster?
Oh, the Divine Beast, you mean?
Yeah, just the woo.
Yeah. And
Just
they've actually just shown off to time this video today. They showed off a new trailer for Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity.
Does it look good?
And well, it does look good, and they released a demo for it for like stage 1 as well. So go check it out, Karl. It's like one of the nice things about the demo as well, which Nintendo did with Pikmin 3, of like, oh yeah, your progress carries over.
I was about to say, yeah, that's really good.
And it's
the
like,
fact they're doing demos at all.
Yeah, the fact they're doing demos, but not only that he's like, oh, here's like a bit of a lengthy demo. Also, you don't have to trudge back through it. It's like,
when you complete, if you get the game.
Because normally demos are like the level 1 and they're the tutorial-y bits and stuff. And then, less than a month later the game's out and it's like, oh, play through all this boring bit again. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Ah, that looks amazing.
But, yeah, like, they showed off stages where you get to control the Divine Beasts. And it looks like they're pretty on rails, like, pretty simplistic stuff, but just putting the scale of, like, oh, this Divine Beast's going to take out an entire army in one go.
Because I have said the biggest, like, criticism I'd have of Breath of the Wild is that you don't get to control the Divine Beast.
Yeah, so I thought you might want to know that they're at least trying.
You don't get the moment of all the Divine Beasts, like, coming together like a fucking
like the
Power
Megazord.
Ranger enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Megazord.
But it looks like it's basically like they open it with like Rivali being a dickhead and you're like, oh, it's time to show off like what I can really do. And then it just shows up the Divine Bird just absolutely going ham on an entire horde of enemies.
The thing is, that game, as good as it looks, is like kind of soured by the fact I know everyone loses really hard.
Yeah.
I know that everybody loses really badly. Because none of them try. I need to know how did Urbosa get beaten though.
Yeah, I need to know that.
I need to know like, how did someone beat that badass. So Lucas just goes as fast as possible.
But the thing is, it looks like, oh, there's 7 red coins on the bird, and I'm like, oh, where's the last one? And I reckon it's ride the bird to the top.
Okay, you have to just jump on the clouds, I suppose.
Oh, well, no, you must be able to travel like onto the side of the bird.
Maybe.
So that's why it's a square bird.
Can you not jump on those clouds though? Because there's coins on the birds. On the clouds, but oh no, because the bird's fucking going past them.
Mm-hmm.
So I see a little square bit. So it wants its wing, I suppose. Or are you going to try and do this?
I'm going to try and get on here.
Oh, thank Cloud. That was really great. There we go.
But the thing is,
tight.
Is it going to be like upside down? I don't know where it's going to go. I literally cannot remember the pattern for this bird.
Okay, there we go. Back the other way. God, that is a... They expected kids to do this?
Apparently.
That's the one I look at with Mario games. I always think, well, these games are designed to be completed by like ages 8 to 80, isn't it? Is usually the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So like, with Mario 64, you could hand that to a kid.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, they wouldn't be able to do all the levels, but they'd be able to do enough to get to the end and see the end of the game.
And I think that's the same with this, as we mentioned. Like, yeah, you only need to get a little bit more than half. Oh, there it is. I see it.
Like some of the stages, I look at them and go, fucking, kids were meant to be able to do this?
Yeah. So you know what? Not that bad.
It's just a bit surprising that it completely goes on its side.
As soon as I knew the gimmick, though, it took me one try. Like, you know, when I realised that it went onto its side, I mean.
That is a bad gimmick, though.
It is a bad gimmick, but, like, I've heard, oh my god, like, not the Sandbird from Mario Sunshine. And like, okay.